Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. I'm Tamiko Pugh, also known as the Empowering Diva. Each week, you'll hear inspirational interviews as well as actionable tips and strategies that you can implement into your daily life to help you live a life of passion, purpose, and potential. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now let's jump into today's episode of Living the Empowered Life. Are you the go-to person in your group of friends? Do you have a zest for life and enjoy helping others reach their full potential? Do you feel a calling to make a difference in the world? If this is you, then you may want to consider becoming a life coach. We have a virtual online training starting soon. Our life coach training focuses on helping women who desire to motivate, inspire, and empower other women by using their skills, expertise, and experience to thrive as a personal development coach. Using the empowerment formula, participants will learn step-by-step tools, tips, and techniques needed to attract great clients and build a thriving, purposeful, and profitable coaching business. Get all the details and register at www.tamikolori.com/life coach training. Welcome to today's episode of Living the Empowered Life. I'm your host, Tamiko Pugh, or you can just call me the Empowering Diva. In today's episode, I'll be chatting it up with dating coach and feminine lifestyle strategist, April Mason. She'll be sharing some amazing tips on how to tap into our natural feminine energy. April is an award-winning dating coach, feminine lifestyle strategist, best-selling author, and social media influencer. As one of the most respected voices of influence online, April's thought-provoking content has been featured on WeTV, Radio 1, National Black NBA, and Fox News, just to name a few. April prides herself on authentically teaching women to win in love, business, and life by tapping into their natural feminine energy. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into our powerful conversation with April Mason. April, welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Tamiko, for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We've already heard your amazing bio. You have so many things going on that I think the women who are a part of the Living the Empowered Life movement could definitely benefit from. And so one of the first things that I noticed when I read your bio is that you're a feminine lifestyle strategist. And so can you tell us a little bit about what that means and what type of woman would need a feminine lifestyle strategist?
Well, what a feminine lifestyle strategist is a woman that actually teaches other women to operate in everything that they do from the feminine aspect. We hear a lot of women talking about how they hustle and grind all the time. I know you've heard it. We see memes about it all on social media. Girl, get your hustle and your grind on. Well, I'm about to read you the definition of grinding. Grinding means oppressive, tedious, and seemingly without end. Hustling means force to move hurriedly in a specific direction. Okay? So what I do is teach women that you don't have to hustle and grind to be successful. When you're operating in the feminine energy, the feminine flow, you attract money. You do not have to chase money. Men hustle. Men grind. And I got to that because I ended up having to have a hysterectomy because my womb area got messed up with these hip fibroids. But as I was getting more in tune spiritually, the Creator really showed me it's because you're operating in the masculine. You're not operating in the feminine to where you don't understand that all of the stress of the hustling and grinding that you're doing, you're putting it on your body. So since the 1960s, women's health issues have skyrocketed. And we ask ourselves, why is that? Because women entered into the workforce in the 40s, 50s, and 60s in the masculine. We did not bring our femininity with us. So now we're putting all that stress and hustling and grinding on our bodies. And now it's causing us health issues. So what I do is I deal with a lot of high-powered women that are accustomed to being in a man's world. But what they do not know how to do is operate in a man's world as a woman.
That's powerful right there. And we know when you think about hustle and grind, it sounds like a lot of work. Like it sounds like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of hard work and it doesn't sound feminine. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
we think it's cute, like, oh, I'm getting my hustle on, I'm grinding today. When you gave us that definition, it really made me think about it. Like that doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound cute. Like hustle and grinding. Can I wear my high heels? Can I put on a cute
Mm-hmm.
dress? Like, it sounds like manual labor.
It
Really
sounds
does.
like manual labor and that you are always on the go and there is no self-care because I'm hustling and grinding trying to get to something, not realizing when you're in the feminine energy and you're able to just relax and lean back and flow, all of the stuff that you've been hustling and grinding to do, honey, that one inspired idea will come while you're pretty much doing nothing. And that one thing will surpass all the hustling and grinding that you've been doing and breaking your body down.
hmm And it sounds, when you say the word feminine and when you say feminine energy, it just sounds, I don't know, to me, I see like light colors and pastels
Mm-hmm.
and flowers and something that smells good. You know what I mean? So that's when I think of when I hear feminine energy.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely different from the hustle and grind. It's like hustle and grind. Yes, 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 yes. Go, 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 go. When you hear strong and independent, you don't think about those pastel colors, that flowy. You don't think about that. You think about somebody working hard. Anytime I hear somebody say, "I'm a strong, independent woman," I immediately the image that comes to mind is, do you remember the paper towel guy, the brawny guy, and he's cutting down the tree and he has on a little plaid shirt? That's what comes to mind when I think of somebody always talk about how strong they are. I
Yes.
don't think about a soft and gentle woman, a woman that needs some assistance, a woman that needs to be catered to, a woman that needs to have that level of freedom and she's okay with being who she is with makeup on or without makeup on. Everything she does has nothing to do with attracting a man. It's just she is in her natural state and attracting a man is just the byproduct or the added bonus of that.
Wow. Wow. That's good right there. So, what do you think? What are like some things that women can do to tap into their natural feminine energy? Because it's a natural thing, but we've been taught to work so hard that I think it kind of goes away over time. So, what can we do to tap into our natural feminine energy?
The number one thing a woman can do is, honestly, Tamiko, is stop.
hmm
Literally, stop. Just stop in her tracks. Sit down and just don't think about anything because the masculine is thinking and logical and trying to figure it out. Just stop and don't do nothing and just sit there. Go outside and sit in the grass, honey, and enjoy the grass and just not try to feel like you have to be doing anything. Learning how to put you first. Some people you have to say no to. Some people you have to say no to. And some people don't get it. You have to tell them hell no. And you have to just
Hey.
it's three different levels to this depending on who you're talking to. And as women, we are afraid to ask for help. I remember when I started really heavily doing this work was in 2014. When I went through my breakup and I had to call off the wedding. And I remember calling your husband. It's like, Kenny, this is
Mhm.
what I'm about to do. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, something ain't right. So I had to go through that breakup. But here's the thing. We shouldn't have to have the rug pulled up from up under us for us to make a move. I knew I should have been going in this direction. And I felt that unction already, but it's almost like we got to be cracked over the head before we make a move. So after the breakup happened and I was thrust into this feminine journey of why I was in the position that I was in, I started to learn that, April, you even walk too fast in the grocery store. What are you in a hurry for?
Wow. Wow.
What? Why are you in such a rush? And to even now, I will make sure when I'm walking in the store, if I find myself walking a little bit too fast, I'll stop right in the middle of Publix and walk and be swaying these little hips and everything because I'm not in a hurry. When you look at, well, you got your empty nester, you don't have any kids in the house to go take care of, you don't have anywhere to be. Why are
hmm
you in such a hurry? Another thing women can do is ask for help. And it can be difficult for us to do, but I started by, if I'm in the store and I used to just, how we just bend over and pick up cases of water and we pick up
Right.
heavy stuff.
Mhm.
Girl, I stopped that. I would see men walking my way and be like, excuse me, sir, but can I borrow your muscles for a minute, please?
Ooh, I know they like that.
They always like that. And it's married or single. It's not, I'm not trying to, take you from nobody. I just really need that masculine energy to help me lift this up because I am a woman. And anytime I'm around men, my wrists are broke. I can't do anything. And I
Okay.
think women have a problem with being in that place because we feel like if we don't do it, it's not going to be done correctly. And sometimes it doesn't matter if it's done correctly or not. We don't have to always be in control. Just let it be. And so for me, I had to learn how to ask for help, even with the homeless men. When I would go to the gas station,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, miss, can I pump your gas for a couple of dollars? The old me would have been, if you don't get away from me, blah blah blah, all scared. In order to put myself in a position to receive, I start saying yes. I'm pretty good with discerning energies and folks' spirits, and if I'm in harm's way. So if I didn't feel like I was in harm's way or anything like that, you sure can pump my gas. Thank you very much. And I would allow him to pump my gas, sit myself in the car, give him $2, and drive off. So small things like that helps you get into the feminine energy because I was able to sit in my car while he filled my tank up and do what? Nothing.
I love that. I love it. And I'm thinking about, sometimes we do things based on life circumstances or what we've experienced, how we grew up. Like for me, I grew up in New York State, upstate New York. We do everything fast. We walk fast.
Mm-hmm.
We do everything is like it's fast moving. Like what you got? What you got for me? You know what I mean? And so I remember when I first moved to Atlanta, I was like, they slow. Like why is everybody taking their time? And but I had to learn that it's okay to take your time, that it's okay to be in the moment, right? It's okay, like you said, you mentioned it's okay to ask for help because life experiences have had taught me that you can't depend on anybody, not even a man. And that's how I used to think. And so I would never ask anyone for help. I would be like, nope, I don't want anybody to say I helped her get to where she is. So I did everything on my own. And it literally wasn't until probably about 7 years ago where I learned how to just let go and to just be and to ask for help and to slow down, right? And to just really start to put myself first. But it was just those
Yes.
life experiences. And I often tell people, people that knew me from New York, they're like, you're different. Like you're calm, you're cool, and I'm like, Atlanta really moving to the South actually taught me that. That's where I learned how to actually be a lady. Because when I moved to
Yes.
Atlanta in 1998, I had on some Timberland boots and a starter jacket. So, but yeah, sometimes I just think that life circumstances have us as women sometimes wanting to be hard and thinking that we have to do everything.
Yes, and not only do everything, but do everything for everybody. And one of the hardest things that I find women have a hard time adjusting to is putting themselves first, and that means or that includes putting yourself above your children. When I say that, they get real nervous. And I always say, you're no good for your children if you have not taken care of yourself. And I remember when my youngest is now, he's 22, but when he was in the 12th grade, he waited to the last minute to tell me about prom. And he was like, Mom, today's the last day. It was a Sunday to get my suit and all this stuff. I said, well, what time the place close? 6:30. Okay, we'll get there by 6. What you mean? Why can't we go now? Because your poor planning has nothing to do with me. My friends are here visiting me out of town, and we're in the kitchen cooking, having girl talk. So I will get to you later. Didn't say I wasn't going to get to you. I just rearranged you. And I put my needs before yours, but it doesn't mean that I'm not taking care of you. We got to the men's warehouse right at 6:00. He got everything that he needed to get done. Now, the old me would have been frustrated. Why did you wait to the last minute? Y'all kids get on my nerves. Don't you know I got things to do? Come on, girls. Girl, can we just go down here? Can we stop what we're doing? Go down here real quick. I didn't do that. You were still
Wow.
taken care of. I just chose to rearrange you and put my needs above yours, but I did not neglect my motherly duties.
Right. That's good right there too, because we often think that we have to put everything and everyone before ourselves. And that was actually a really good example of how putting yourself before your children is important, but still taking care of your responsibilities as a mom. I think sometimes we kind of get confused. Like if I put myself first, then I'm not taking care of my responsibilities as a parent. where you just showed
Yes.
us that that can be done.
Yes. And he was looking at me, girl, crazy. And I'm like, I'm looking at him like he crazy. Like, I don't have to go to the prom. I didn't wait to the last minute. But since you did, son, I got you. So go in there and play with your friends. And I'm gonna hang out with my girls and I will see y'all. I'll take all y'all because 3 of y'all waited to the last minute. So we all can go at 6 o'clock. Y'all will be okay.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that as parents, our kids waiting until the last minute to tell us stuff. And it's like, okay, how long have you known this? Right.
Right.
I'm
But
like
as
enjoying our conversation about this whole feminine thing. I'm just really intrigued that you have a really unique niche
yes.
that's so needed. I mean, it's very unique. You have life coaches, empowerment coaches, money strategists, life strategists, but I had never heard of a feminine lifestyle strategist. Right. So I'm just really intrigued by the work that you do with
Okay.
women. And so I have one thing I wanted to know was what is the power of a feminine asset woman?
Well, what I define it as is a feminine asset woman is a woman, she has courage to live her life from the divine feminine, even though it goes against societal norms. She amplifies everyone she encounters and everything she touches, but she also do this while embodying her spirituality, her gentleness, her resilience, her class, her intelligence, wisdom, softness, interdependence, sensuality, resourcefulness, and her femininity. So she does this being in a position that allows her to live this particular way as a lifestyle, not turn it on and turn it off. One of the bigger issues that a lot of women have with this is when I start talking about the sensuality part. It's like, well, wait a minute, that mean I got to be having sex? No. I don't have. It don't mean any of that. You can use your sensuality and your sexual energy, even if you ain't having sex, to create a whole bunch of things, including money. You start attracting it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, being a feminine lifestyle strategist, I teach women how to get done what they need to get done without using masculine, but the dominant is their masculine. Most women's dominant is that. Most women react versus respond.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is help women change what their dominant energy is. So if someone does something to you, instead of your dominant energy being let me let them have it, feminine women, unless you mess with somebody we love, that's a whole nother ball game. Well, you might see another side of us, but that's not the default. That's mama bear protecting. But when you really started operating in the feminine, how you respond changes. You no longer react to things. You don't have to let them have it or read a person just so you can feel better, because at the end of it, after you done said everything you had to say, what was the benefit in that? You just feel good that you were able to release that, but what was the benefit?
Right. What is the benefit and how does it serve me, or how is it serving the person?
Yes, and it doesn't. So what I do is I really help women find those blocks that they have with their money, with their self-esteem, even dating. Because as a dating coach, it's amazing how many successful, very well paid, good credit, nice 8, 9, 10,000 square foot homes, drives these beautiful cars, beautiful women. Their bodies are just amazing, gorgeous in the face. Women that I coach because they cannot get a quality date to save their life.
So speaking of dating coach, it's like who is your target audience and what exactly do you do? Because I know sometimes we confuse like matchmaking and dating.
Mm-hmm.
So like who would be your target audience and like how are you helping them as a dating coach?
Well, what I do is, like you said, people get it confused a little bit. A dating coach and a relationship coach are two different things. I help women get to the start, we'll get to the point where they're starting to date, change the type of men that they're attracting. The relationship coach is more somebody helping you keep that all together. My goal is to help you use not only your feminine energy, but your wisdom and your discernment to attract better partners, so that you don't have to have a plethora of dating coaches and a plethora of counseling all the time. A lot of times, if we learn how to pick our partners properly, a lot of stuff would be resolved. But because we don't, and a lot of my women that are these high 6-figure earners with all of the stuff that I named previously, they still want an alpha male. But what they don't understand is if you're not operating in the feminine, you're really not going to attract an alpha male.
Yeah.
That because you don't ignite his protector and provider in him. And they're like, what you mean? I'm like, you keep telling this man everything you have and what you do and all of this other stuff. And you don't need him for anything.
Yeah.
So you operate more in the masculine when you're on a date. So with my VIP clients, I actually go on dates with them. You can't see me.
Really?
The men can't see me, but I'm there. And I'm on our intake. The first thing we do is, okay, well, let me feel your vibe. So we plan a time and we go out. I might be sitting at the bar. I'm always the mysterious lady at the bar having dinner, just watching everybody, right?
I love it.
I might be sitting at the bar watching, and I'm watching her vibe. I'm watching her body language. I'm watching all of these things about her. And that kind of lets me know, okay, I see what this is. Okay. She doesn't have witty banter. She doesn't know how to be coy. She has no feminine mystique. She's talking too much. She's not asking questions to make him, spill his guts. She's spilling all her guts. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what this is. So in that, it allows me to see where women are not functioning properly, no matter how successful they are and what they've achieved in their careers. They don't know how to achieve that same success in the love department.
Well, that was good, though. I love how you actually go on the date and you're the mysterious woman at the bar. Like, I think it's almost like a dating show.
Uh-huh.
I literally can envision this as one of those reality shows, but like a real reality show where it's really happening. You're there and you're telling them, what they need to do. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Actually, I just filmed a pilot for a new television show for some of the guys from Love and Hip Hop are trying to get their lives together. And they brought me on as the dating coach. So I actually had to go on a couple of dates with them. And so it was very interesting to be a part of that. But yeah, that's what I do when it comes to the dating part. And that's the part that I love the most, to be able to go with them on our initial intake. And then once they're finished coaching with me, to be able to see them go out again and watch the transformation.
Right. I love that. I really do. So a lot of the stuff you talked about, and you shared a little bit of this in 2014 when you were going through, I think you were engaged and then you had to call it off. Mm-hmm. So one of the things, a lot of the work that we do is typically because it's something that we've experienced in life or our life experiences. So how has your life experiences prepared you for the work that you're doing today?
Everything that I talk about, Tamiko, is everything that I've actually lived through and had to work through. Because think about it, especially if women of color, how many women do we know we can go to and say, my feminine energy is off, how do I fix it?
Right.
You don't really have that. So what I had to do is after I called off the wedding and it was like, okay, let me go sit down somewhere. I really had to dig deep and say, April, what is the issue? And I remember I was teaching this course called Are You an Asset? And I was traveling all around the world teaching this Are You an Asset? But I had to not just do it from a surface level. I had to go deep. So everything that I teach is everything that I've actually had to walk through myself. And because my niche is so niched, it's a very unique niche, it's something that I speak to women that have this craving or this like something in the middle of their stomach that makes them want to be in this feminine energy, but they don't want to feel like I'm being weak or I'm a doormat or I've been taught to be strong all my life. I want to be there, but I don't want to be looked upon as weak. And I had to share that your femininity is your power. Like, that's a whole nother level of power. I said, you got to remember, the feminine energy can bring any man to his knees. Like a man that you're normally not his type, you his type, because the feminine energy is every man's type.
Wow.
And I said, when you understand that, not only does it play a part in the man that you attract, it plays a huge part in the money that you have. Just the people you'll make an entrance in the room, and it makes everybody wants to get to know you, men and women, because there's just something that radiates about you.
Yeah.
And people don't know what it is. It's like, okay, it's something about her, but
Mhm.
that's because you've done the inner work and you're comfortable in your skin. You're very laid back. It's like, for me, although I get invited to all of the hottest events here in Atlanta, you seldomly see me on the scene.
Mhm.
And when I do show up, it's like, oh, she finally showed up. But I'm so laid back that I remember I went to this brunch right before all of this happened in the country. And it was about maybe 30 women. And I sat at my table, and I don't tell people what I do. And I don't feel like I have to boast or brag because I'm just
Mhm.
confident in, I'm April Mason, and I'm
Yeah.
doggone good at what I do. And
Right.
I don't have to sell you on nothing. As they would say, Google me. I don't have to do that. So I was sitting there and nobody knew who I was. And it was the first time I went to an event like this. And it was great. I was just sitting back, chilling, minding my own business. Girl comes by and she sits at my table. She says, girl, I know who you are. Miss April, I be watching your stuff and them videos be getting me through. The girl next to her says, I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't want to be a fan. So what that did was make everybody else in the room be like, well, who is she? Because she's just so laid back. I
Yeah.
didn't come in like, I've accomplished this and I've done all that. That's what a feminine asset woman, that's what energy that she carries. She doesn't have to tell the world how powerful she is. Her energy precedes her.
It
So, and she's okay with being in the room with other beautiful women. And it's like, okay, everybody's in here is gorgeous. But what she does know is it doesn't matter how beautiful other women are, how much more money they have than her, what if they have better bodies than her. A feminine asset woman always knows when she make an entrance into a room, there is no woman better than her.
Hey, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I love it. Your femininity is your power.
It
Like
is.
that's the tweetable moment right there. I wrote that down, so I'll tweet and quote you. Look, your femininity is your power, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm,
Okay,
mm-hmm.
I love that. I love it. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. And you touched on confidence, like you walking in the room and knowing that you're confident. And that's one of the principles of living the empowered life. We have 6 principles to living the empowered life, and one of them is ultimate self-confidence. And so,
Mm-hmm.
how does confidence play a role in dating, but also in being able to tap into your feminine energy?
See, what women have mistaken nowadays is a feminine woman with a feminine look.
Hmm.
They think that a feminine look equals confidence, and it doesn't.
Girl, speak on it.
And just because you can put on, a dress or pink or whatever, you deem feminine, it doesn't make you that. It's what goes on the inside. See, a lot of men, and I back in 2000, I think 15 or 16, I did a interviewing men on women and dating and all that stuff. And two of the things that continue to be the theme of our conversations was the most beautiful banging bodied women were the easiest to get over on, is
Wow.
what the men shared with me, as well as the women wanted to know, why don't men pursue anymore? And the men were like, because women don't require us to. It was just that simple. So confidence comes from knowing that whether I am in a ball gown on a red carpet or with my baseball hat, yoga pants on, and some tennis shoes,
Mm-hmm.
I am still that woman, period. I'm comfortable in my skin. Like I said before, attracting a man is an added bonus of the feminine energy. It's not the reason for the feminine energy.
Right.
And a lot of women, and Tamiko, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to keep it 1,000. I have something called the Teach Me How to Date VIP Academy, and that started in 2017. Then I had the Asset Women Elevation. That was all about developing self-confidence, developing self-esteem, right? What I found, and it's sad to say, is that women started canceling their membership to the Asset Elevation, which was cheaper than the Teach Me How to Date. And it made me realize women will do the work to become a feminine woman for a man, but not for themselves.
Wow.
And that was a hard pill for me to swallow because I'm like, I know I'm dropping this heat and giving y'all this information.
Right.
But for them, and then what would happen is those same women would stay in my Teach Me How to Date and learn particular techniques that I would teach. But they never embody being that feminine, confident woman. So they would leave the membership. Oh my God, Miss April, I'm attracting a different kind of man. Yeah, I know that. But here's the problem. You're going to lose him because you got him because you played a part, because that's not who you are. So you learned enough to attract a different caliber of man, but you have not learned enough to keep him because that's not who you are. You became a dope woman for a man and not for yourself, which is why 3 months down the line, you back in the group.
Girl, that's some good information right there. Wow.
Because they do it all the time. It's like, I will do whatever I have to do to be that woman. But I don't see me being a more confident, powerful woman as a tangible result. Whereas you teaching us and teach me how to date, the tangible result is a better caliber of man. So they put more value on that than they did on becoming what I call a feminine asset woman. And it was very sad to see, but I see it across the board all the time. And women always ask me, Miss April, I need some of your man trap, what they call it, man trap recipes. I said, I don't have any man trap recipes. I don't know what that is. Well, the kind of men that you attract, yeah, because I am the type of woman that those type of men like. You're trying to fake and become her to attract that kind of man, but you will not be able to keep him because if he's smart, he'll be able to sniff out the fake.
Absolutely. I think it is kind of sad when you think about it, that women will do the work needed to get the man, but won't do the work needed for themselves, that inner work that we always talk about, and just doing the work on yourself first. It's all, I think the mindset is just, we need to get to a place where when we do things, we're doing it for ourselves because we need it. Like, we need to be healed from the inside out. And then it's as opposed to doing things for someone else. I'm going to lose weight or go on this 10-day green smoothies cleanse for him so I can lose weight instead of doing it for ourselves.
Right. And that's the thing. And it's so sad that, women will, like I say, won't become a dope, amazing woman for themselves unless the end result is something that they can actually touch. And I always laugh. I'm like, so you guys will do all of this stuff and learn all of this stuff for a man, but you won't become a dope chick for yourself. And people would say, well, April, how do you teach dating? But you're not married. I said, because it works for me. I said, what I teach actually works for me. When I got into the position of understanding the power of a feminine woman and understanding that I am the chooser, even men know that women are the chooser. All it did was me going through my own woman elevation. All it did was put me in a position to be very selective. And I said, so it works. I said, but what you guys aren't doing is going through it and you're seeing it as, if I do this work, it equals a man. I see it as me doing my work and becoming myself is best for me in all areas of life. It affects the man, it affects the money, it affects my happiness, it affects how I am with my children, my grandchildren, and everything else. They only looking at it from a one-dimensional standpoint, and it's a man. I don't look at it like that. So, I'm an empty nester. I sit in my house. I have a good time by myself, honey, even with this quarantine. And I'm just really chilling because there's a level of peace there that, wow, April, look what you've done to get yourself to this place. And when women start to feel that level of peace, and not feel like, oh my God, I'm by myself. I don't have nobody. Nah, when you don't feel that, you attract exactly what it is that you desire.
Yes, absolutely. You just mentioned something about the quarantine. So we're currently quarantined. There are a lot of people at home. And I wasn't going to ask you this question, but it just came to mind because I kind of have an example. You talked about something on your social media about it's a good time to slide in DMs or something like that. Oh. And virtual dating has really taken off. I have a really close friend of mine, met someone, during this quarantine, and they have these amazing virtual dates via Zoom conferencing where they're watching movies together.
Yep.
One night she was like, oh, we've been on the same date for 36 hours straight. Like, they're literally having these virtual conversations and really getting to know each other on another level. So what do you
Right.
think about that right now, being quarantined, meeting someone or sliding in those DMs, as I think you said?
Girl, I am all for it. I I did a video at the beginning of March when all of this started going down, where we had to start social distancing. I said, honey, this is the best time to really get to know someone because they don't have anything to do. You don't have to worry about being a priority. And you can actually go on virtual dates. I said, there's a difference between online dating and a virtual date. Online dating is being on a website where you're meeting people. When you take it off of there, and I said, girl, listen, you know we be getting dressed up. We're putting on our makeup and getting ourselves together. Girl, you can go on 3 different dates with 3 different people with the same outfit on in the same day on FaceTime.
Absolutely. Sure can.
On FaceTime. I said, so, you can go for a walk in the park with one while y'all both working out. You can have a romantic dinner. He dresses up on his end. I've done this, and I dress up on my end, and we have this romantic dinner. We watch our favorite movies. He'll watch a show I like. I'll watch a show he like, even though I don't like it, but I will do it. But it's those type of things because you get to see a person more for who they are versus the representative when they're actually on a dinner date. Like for me, I don't even like first dates to be dinner. Take me to Six Flags.
Something.
Take me somewhere where I get to see you, how you function, not necessarily on your best behavior. So right now, I think people should slide in those DMs and go for it. Go for it and just be respectful. Let the man pursue. I do believe that as a woman, you can put the ball in a man's court, but I think he should be the one to pursue and go for it. A lot of women, I don't want to say nothing. Like 1 or 2 pictures, like maybe about 2 or 3 pictures, just like them and write a cute little comment. Oh my God, I didn't realize that you had such amazing eyes. Watch him slide in your DMs.
All right now. All right. I love it, April. I love it. I love it. So ladies, slide in them DMs and get y'all some feminine energy. Get you some feminine energy before the day is out. I am so loving that. So, April, tell us about becoming a recession-proof woman. You have an event coming up that I think is extremely important, especially for where we are right now, being quarantined, social distancing. People are laid off work. So let's talk a little bit about that. When is the event? And just kind of go ahead and dive into that.
Well, what I did was, prior to becoming a dating coach and feminine lifestyle strategist, I started my first business with $50 from a welfare check, homeless, living in a shelter with 3 babies. And I noticed that now that I've gotten into this work over since 2000, I would say 14, 15, a lot of women have a problem dating or feel like they're deserving of a better man because their money isn't right. I totally understand it. I've lived that before. So what I wanted to teach women is that in this particular climate, you can be a recession-proof woman. And it's not necessarily for the man, but the added bonus is it'll give you confidence and allows you to even sift through the men that you used to deal with that you won't deal with because now your money is right. It's boosting your confidence and it's going to boost it in all areas. So I decided to do a recession-proof boot camp because my audience, they were waiting on me to say something about, Miss April, are you putting your stuff on sale? Are you doing this? And God didn't tell me to do that. And I sat back for about 2 weeks and I finally sent an email out to my email list and said, I know you ladies have been waiting for what I had to say on this particular situation. And you, because you're my tribe and you follow my leadership, the creator didn't tell me to go put everything on sale. That's a lack mentality. However, give me about a week or so and let me sit down and get quiet and do nothing. And I will come up with, I'm sure I will get a download of what I need to do to help you to navigate through this particular time. About a week or so or 10 days later, creator gave me, do a 3-day virtual boot camp on the areas in business that you know and you know well. So day 1 is coming up on April 26th. It's about how to make $1,000 now. This is for the woman that she likes her job. She's not really trying to be a full-time entrepreneur, but she needs to make some extra money. So I'm going to give all of the things that I know that you can do right now from your home or from your phone to make $1,000 now. Day 2, which is April 28th, it's all about how to create your own product, digital product empire. I wrote my first ebook in 2004, is How to Start a Gift Basket Business from Home. 2006, I did my second one on Business Credit Secrets Exposed, How to Establish Business Credit. So I know it's popular right now to talk about digital products. However, I've been doing this since 2004 before it became popular. So I was like, okay, let me show women how to actually make digital products. And you can actually make them in 24 hours or however long you want to take. But if you're trying to make some money, honey, I'm going to show you how to get on track to do that. And then on day 3, the 30th, I'll be teaching how to create a $10,000 per month membership. I have my Teach Me How to Date membership that's doing over $10,000 a month. And I have my Feminine CEO, which used to be Asset Elevation, but we changed it to Feminine CEO to talk business. That one is making 5 figures as well, too. So I'm going to be teaching women how to not only boost their confidence, but how to become recession proof. So we should not be tripping right now. Feminine women have the ability to create, because one of the traits of a feminine woman is her creativity. So if you can create life in your womb, why can't you create money on demand?
Absolutely. Girl, I love this program. How to make $1,000 now. How to create your own digital products. And like you said, digital products are the thing now. And then how to create $10K per month. Who doesn't want to learn how to create $10,000 per month? Come on now. This is great. This is awesome.
Girl, yes. And I do it right here from my office at home. And I probably work maybe 5 hours a week. And my daughter works for me full time.
Really? Wow. I love it. I love it. So people probably want to know, how can they be a part of this 3-day boot camp?
They can go to recessionproofwoman.com or go to aprilmason.com and click on events, and it'll take you directly to the page where they can register.
All right, aprilmason.com. All right. And so, April, this has been some really good information. Thank you so much for joining. But before we close out, I do want to know if you have, or would you just do me a favor and share a final thought or a charge for the audience?
My final thought would be this. Whatever you believe is available to you is what it'll be. You can always tell the results of a person's life based upon what they're thinking. So if you are a woman who does not like the results of her life, I really charge you to look at what your belief system is in that particular area. When I got over poverty, it's because I realized I was raised in poverty and was taught that, money is the root of all evil, not the love of money is the root of all evil. The more you struggle, the closer you are to God. So I had to break those blockages. With men, it was the same thing. My belief was men were this particular way. I identified those beliefs and I worked on breaking down those subconscious beliefs. So whatever area of your life that is not working for you, all that means, darling, is that your belief system needs to be shifted.
That is really great information. Whatever you believe is available to you is what will be. And then look at what your belief system is. That is very powerful, April. Thank you so much for sharing that. Tell us how we can get in touch with you. How can we follow you on social media?
You can always go to Facebook. Well, Facebook is my domain. I know they like, oh my God, ain't nobody on Facebook no more. Yes, they do. They on Facebook. My audience is on Facebook because my audience like content. They like content. So you can always find me on Facebook under Miss MS April Mason. The same handle on Instagram, Miss April Mason, and on YouTube at April Mason TV. And of course, always on my website, which is my name, aprilmason.com.
Wonderful. April, thank you so much for sharing with us. I took lots of great notes. I look forward to sharing your information with the Living the Empowered Life community. And thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
I truly hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Living the Empowered Life with the amazing feminine lifestyle strategist, April Mason. It is my heart's desire that you are able to draw some motivation and inspiration from our discussion today as you continue on your journey of living an empowered life. And remember, femininity is your superpower. Hey there to all my friends in the Living the Empowered Life community. Listen, what better way to celebrate love than by loving yourself and grabbing a copy of my book, 21 Days of Self-Love, a guide to loving yourself unapologetically. This book serves as a self-love guide to loving yourself from the inside out by providing you with self-love tips, affirmations, and mantras to be used during your 21 days of self-love. Grab a copy of the book in the Empowerment Store at tamikolori.com. Take some time to do something loving for you. You deserve it. So ladies, listen. It's time to discover and live your life purpose. It's time to value yourself. It's time to set goals that are going to move you forward in life. It's time to rebuild your confidence. It's time to fearlessly walk in your authentic power. And ladies, it's time to live the empowered life.